My name is Nafjin, MBA student with specialization in finance. Before getting started, I would like to say it is my pleasure to do this very meaningful research with Professor Jamilo. The reason why I call this research is very meaningful because, as you know, nowadays, the health issue probably is already becoming the most important issue that relates to every single person. If you focus on the whole picture, like the health issue, how to impact the whole picture, for the whole country, such as the United States, the concept of the mortality should be concerned by us. And there are two general questions that always be asked and by a person. What are the factors that cause the people die, and are there any difference between the ethnicities, genders, and ages? So let's bring these two questions and get started my today's presentation. My today's topic is called Impact of Modifiable Behavior Risk Factors in Ethnicity and Gender. All right, let me do some introduction first. The concept of modifiable risk factor mortality, the MRFM, that mainly includes several factors such as smoking, obesity, illegal drugs, alcohol, sexual transmitted disease, accidents, and suicide. We did this research based on some previous research, mainly according to the Professor Kinney in 2008 from Duke University. And the database that we used called CDC website, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. We used this website to collect the data and analyze them. All right, first of all, I'm going to show you two graphs that are called aging curves. First of all, let's take a look at these graphs. These graphs that mainly showing the proportion of population in the United States. So obviously the white group has the most higher proportion in this country. The proportion is approximately 62%, and followed by Hispanic 18%, African American 13%, Asian Pacific 6%, and American Native 1%. Let's go to another graph. In this graph, we compared the every single ethnicity's percentage of population over by the total population in this country. So there are two very significant points that I marked out, use the red circle. The first one, if you look at the blue line, that means the white group. The peak of this line that appeared with the aging group from 55 to 64. So in other words, it seems like the white people has the biggest proportion of senior citizens in this country. And another point I marked out is the Hispanic line. The peak value of this line appeared with the aging group from 5 years old to 14 years old. All right, let's do some general findings here. The first general finding I would like to show to you is the MRFM of male side is higher than female side. And the gap between the genders is approximately 7%. So if you take a look at the specific numbers here, 36% against 44, 35% against 42%. So that shows the male side is higher than female side. All right, the general finding two here I'm going to show you. Before I explain more, I would like to explain what's the meaning of this number in this table. The numbers are MRFM rate per 100,000 population. All right, first I'm gonna this everyone take a look about the aging group below 1 year old. So the peak value of this group appeared in the African American female and African American male with values 38 and 44. Secondly, let's take a look at what's happened of the female side. The Native American female has the higher rate compared to another group of females, and followed by African American female. On the other hand, the Hispanic female and Asian Pacific female have the lower rate compared to other females. The male side, African American male and Native American male have the higher rate compared to another female. On the other hand, the Hispanic male and Asian Pacific male have the lower rate. All right, just now we analyzed a little bit about the general finding. Right now, I would like to go further. So that means the factor by factor. The first factor I would like to show about the smoking. The smoking, it has the higher contributors to MRFM. And most of mortality that concentrate on with the aging group below 1 year old and about 45 years old. Conversely, the peak value appeared in the African American male with the aging 65 to 74 with value 569. Except this counter example, the African American female and African American male have the higher rate compared to another group, followed by Native American female and Native American male. All right, the next factor I'm going to show you about the obesity. As same as the smoking, the obesity also has the higher contributor to MRFM. Another very similar thing between the obesity and smoking is the mortality trend increasing followed by the aging increasing. So that means follow the aging grow up, the mortality, the number of mortality is increasing. And most of mortality concentrate on the aging group about 45 years old. This is the peak value. Alright, the African American, either female or male, has the higher rate compared to another groups, followed by Native American female and male. Alright, the next one is the accidents. Right here, the accidents we're only concerned about some accident that we could control by human beings, such as the earthquake, the storm, etc. Those factors that we cannot control, that we don't concern about that. All right, in these factors, the MRFM, the male side is much higher than female side. So this is why I put two greater signs right here. If you are focusing on the specific number, you will find the consequence. But for example, this number, 55 to 64 years old with white female group, 7 something, and against the 20 something. So the gap is between the gender is approximately 3 times. And in most of cases in this chart, the gap is around 2 times to 3 times, and in some cases it's more than 3 times. So this is why we said much higher. All right, the last but not least is called illegal drugs. And this is the most predominant factor among the young age. So if you remember the previous several slides that I showed just now, most of trends, the mortality follow the aging grow up. But in this one, most of mortality concentrate on this group of person. And the peak value appeared in a group of white female and black male. Or the Asian Pacific female and Asian Pacific male have the lower rate, and in some cases, the rate in Asian Pacific, either female or male, has much higher than another group of persons. All right, let's jump to the conclusion. Just now we compare the every factors. Sorry, just 1 minute. And what's happened if we compare the factors to every single aging groups? And this is why we made this chart. We compared the factors to every single aging groups and figure out the top 2 factors that impact the age. So the consequence will be the smoking 26 times here in this chart, the obesity 23, accidents 21. And same methodology that we use on male side, so the consequence will be accidents 24, smoking 23, obesity 17. All right, so far the most of content I already finished there, but I would like to see from my personal level, based on this number that I showed and the factors that we analyzed just now, I believe that we need to think about something, or maybe we have to need to change something from our day-to-day life.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.